You guys have had some good performances at global events, especially starting from PMGC last year, 3rd place, now PMGO 2nd place. What is the prediction coming into PMWC?
I mean, as always, our prediction is that we're getting top 16. We feel prepared, like we feel motivated, we're ready, and we got to show the world, that's it.
You guys were able to win PMSL EU, and you guys said that there was a new tradition that you guys started, which you were able to touch the trophy. Have you guys been able to touch the PMWC trophy yet?
No, Tencent didn't want to.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll see if they are actually going to be lifting that trophy towards the end. Thank you so much, guys. Best of luck. Back to you guys.
The energy in the building is electric, Max. But before we start to recap last year, let's have a look at how things are going to unfold this year.
I mean, yeah, right here, Jackie, for 2025, it is going to be 8 days worth of action spread over the course of 2 weeks. So you better be there because the teams are here ready to make history.
Back to back, same time, same place, day in, day out.
Yeah, and this time around, for day one, it is going to be Group Yellow versus Group Red to kick off the festivities here at PMWC. And Group Red, known as the Group of Death, is ready to bring the heat.
Oh, they really will be. And for those of you out there that enjoy a classic staple map pool, you're in for a treat, Max.
I mean, come on, Erangel, the bread and butter here in PUBG Mobile Esports, it is going to be the best to have it 3 times per day. Though, looking back at 2024, Alpha 7, your reigning champions here to defend the throne once again, but we know that here, Jackie, a lot of teams are ready to take that trophy away.
Uneasy is the head that wears the crown, and with Japan coming so close to getting their hands on the title last year, no reject. Who's the new challenger, Max?
There's too many teams to count here. They're just going to be able to compete for it. But with that said, we should get right into the show. And actually, I'm a little bit late, so I'll see you guys in a bit.
Get a move on. What's he doing?
We'll see how long it's going to take Max to get back to us because it is going to be quite a bit of a run. But welcome to the PUBG Mobile World Cup at EWC 2025. My name is TheSevenWG. I'm going to be your host, and I wouldn't be able to do this by myself. You know that Maximin's going to be getting here at some point. I'm joined by none other than Neptura. Neptura, how are you feeling?
I am feeling fantastic. I'm super excited to be here. We're back on the desk once again.
You see what I'm seeing right now, Nep? Is that Max running?
Oh my god. Here he is. Are you okay?
Yeah,
are you
fine.
overheating?
Did I miss something? Oh, start. Hello. We're ready.
Hi.
Max, how was the run? How are you feeling?
I need a bit of cardio. No, it's fine. I'm feeling amazing here, okay? It's hot out here in Riyadh, but it's especially going to be hot in the lobby because these games are about to be straight fire, 7.
Maybe the best lobby that I think we have seen this year by far. Not even close. But you know what? We're talking about the teams. Let's actually take a look at some of the teams that are going to be participating here at PMWC at EWC 25. And boy, we got some new teams, and we also have some teams that we have seen for quite a while, Max.
I mean, yeah. You got a lot of teams here that came back that are going to be trying to defend their title, like Alpha 7, right? But other teams that are back once again trying to get himself a good run. Looking at especially Alpha Gaming, I think a team that a lot of people are looking at here, Nipchura, to maybe try and do well, but they're still trying to fix a few things here and there.
The dockening. I'm just going to say it right out.
We'll get to that. But you did mention it during that clip, Max. You were saying Red Group today, day 1, we're going to be having Group Red versus Group Yellow. Red Group being the Group of Death. And then tomorrow, that's a group that would actually get a chance to sit out, and we won't see them again until day 3 of Group Stage.
I mean, having that one break day is very important, Nipchura, right? Going into it, if you have a bad start, it's a really good time to have that 24 hours to fully reset, know, okay, what happened, what went wrong, try and fix it going into your final day of the group stage, because a lot of teams, I would say, are trying to avoid that survival stage. They want to qualify from the get-go to make sure they got that final spot secured.
That's usually what we expect. Would they hear one player, though, saying, hey, we actually want to get a chance to go to survival stage, which that was a bit surprising to me.
Right? I mean, I always see that, though, and I'm kind of like, actually, you do want to do that because it is the way to go forward. I think you get more practice. You have more chance to analyze the teams against your team specifically. So, yeah, I do think that it's actually a really, really good idea in a strategic sense to actually play for that survival stage as well.
Well, it might play out. It might put some extra pressure on the players. We don't know. Sometimes crazy things happen. One thing I do know is that I want to take a look at the Aramco Power Rankings because we got a chance to select some teams. I'm not going to talk about mine. I want you guys to talk about yours. Neptura, go first.
Go first? All right. Well, Falcons, I kind of think that's kind of a given for me, at least. I think they're really cool. We've seen them do a lot of things globally. Good global experience, good to go. Weibo Gaming, huge hype coming in from them. I want to see more from them. We all want to see stuff from them. And I think they've got a really, really good chance of doing very well globally, which historically, since Nova, we've not really seen from their region. So I'm good to see that. Regnum Kari as well. I kind of feel like there's no real discussion there. We all know why they're there.
PMGO champions, right? They made themselves their home region get an extra slot, and they qualified through that extra slot. They got themselves in PMGO over here in PMSL EU. So really good stuff from Regnum Karya. Silas, we have to say, he won PMGC. He's won now PMGO. If he wins PMWC here at 2025, he could be the only player in the world to have won all 3 big global events, which would be historical for him to make that happen today.
And the crazy part is that for the year, I mean, he could hit the global Grand Slam for PUBG Mobile, winning PMGO, maybe possibly winning PMWC, and we'll see. We'll have to wait and see what's going to happen with that team at PMGC. By the way, my picks, pretty much underdogs, okay? Teams that I think are going to end up going to survival stage, but teams, some of them not, but some of the other teams that I think they're actually going to be going to grand finals. But one team that I think a lot of people are expecting to be in grand finals is Regnum Karya. So let's take a look at this video.
Regnum Karya esports have had one of the most emotional and unpredictable journeys in PUBG Mobile esports history. Just last year, they suffered a heartbreaking loss at PMGC 2024, falling short of the title by just 2 points. It was the kind of finish that sticks with you, the kind that can either break a team or push them to come back even stronger. And for Regnum Karya, it lit a fire. At the heart of this roster is Silas, who's chasing PUBG Mobile immortality. If Regnum Karya lift the trophy this year, Silas will become the first ever player in PUBG Mobile history to win every major global event, an unprecedented accomplishment. Beside him stand Wild and Loxy, the mechanical powerhouses with the ability to swing team fights in seconds. Tospic, though, brings consistency and calm in chaotic moments, often acting as the glue that holds the team together. They came into PMGO 2025 with something to prove, and they proved it. From the earlier stages all the way to the finals, Regnum Karya looked like a team on a mission. Their plays were sharp, their teamwork was on point, and when the pressure was highest, they delivered. They walked away as PMGO champions, not only lifting a trophy, but also securing an extra PMWC qualification slot for their region in the upcoming PMSL. That extra slot, it ended up meaning everything. In PMSL 2025, Regnum Karya started strong, but found themselves in a tough fight during the finals. And despite their efforts, they finished in 4th place, just outside the standard qualification spots for PMWC. After everything they fought for, it looked like the World Cup dreams were slipping away again. But the very slot they had earned by winning PMGO ended up saving them. Because of that extra spot, their 4th place finish was enough. They qualified for PMWC not through the front door, but through the one they built themselves earlier. From barely missing out on the biggest title in 2024 to becoming champions at PMGO and then scraping into PMWC through sheer grit and timing, Regnum Karya's 2025 season has been a roller coaster. And now, with a second chance on the world stage, they'll be looking to finish what they started.
I mean, Regnum Karya has just been on an absolute tear. We saw what they were able to do at PMGO. Can they maybe follow that up here at PMWC? What are the chances looking like so far?
I give them a solid 60%.
Oh,
So they need to share 40% between the other teams. That's quite low.
Yeah. I think they're looking really good. I think they're just looking very strong. They're feeling it. They're feeling that success, right? And so I feel like at this point in time, feeling as good as they do, that momentum that they've got, this team that they have, the synergy they've been able to build, it's looking very good for them.
You want to jump in? No, I was going to say, because looking at this team, right, these 4 players have stuck together now for the entirety of 2025 so far.
Yeah. Yep.
They have that synergy, they have that trust. Wild and Loxy in particular, when they're doing a play, they know exactly what the other guy's thinking. So when they're going for a breach on a compound, I'm telling you, Wild and Loxy, you don't want to go against them, because chances are, if they have a shotgun, you're not living more than 5 seconds, okay? You better be careful and hide.
Yeah, 100%. It's so nice to see that synergy come through, and that's really something that you don't see other teams have, and that's what you're always trying to get to. That's the standard that you're trying to get to, is having that synergy between players to the point of where you know what the other one is thinking. And that's so important in that late game.
well, I mean, we're talking about teams that you don't want to run into. One team that I personally would not want to run into is Hora Esports. I mean, this team has been an absolute dark horse for me. They were able to perform well in their PMSLs as well. So before we even continue to talk about them, let's take a look at this interview.
We are lacking so many things in past, like communication, synergy, team game. That's why we got 1v3, 1v4 so many times. But in this gap, we really did like practice all the things. I think it won't happen again in this PMWC. Last night is our main drop, so we will see really go there. I never thought like I'm the star player of the team. It's just like fans or supporters, they just gave me the title. But I don't think it's like it will give me pressure. It just motivates me like to be called star of the team. I don't like to say anything those who underestimate us, but I'll just show them in game. Thank you everyone, love you all and keep supporting us.
As I mentioned, a team that you definitely don't want to end up running into. They have turned it up this year, Max, and I feel like they could be either one of the favorites for some people or maybe a dark horse team for some other people.
Yeah, I think you could see them in the two different options here going into this tournament. If you're a Nepalese team, you're going to see them, of course, as a big squad going here for the entire tournament. Though, this is a team that's very rotationally smart, right? They are so good at getting good entry points here, and I think that could be something that sets them apart in this lobby.
I mean, we just got a chance to see them there with the Jamil Motorsport player arrivals. They're looking confident, and I think they might end up shocking the world as well, especially in group stages, Neptura.
I think they could, exactly. I mean, this team gets a lot of pushback from actually being able to be very passive. They get labeled as very passive, but they're not. They're a very aggressive team. They're just not as aggressive at the get-go as you would see from a lot of other teams, so they get called passive a lot, but they really aren't.
Yeah, they take fights that make sense. They're not a team that, I see you, I'm going to push you and fight. No, they think about it. If we get something out of this fight, if we win it, this fight makes sense, we'll send it. And they're a team that's very smart about it, but I see them a lot more as a defensive team. They get in positions ahead of the lobby, play defensively, hold teams at bay, especially with Sleepy. Is exceptionally strong with the DMRs, especially the Mini 14, keeps everyone at bay, and that just gives them a lot of space to work with in the mid to late game stage.
One thing that I've actually enjoyed and that you were able to showcase on Instagram at MatsMainCast, make sure you check it out, by the way, because it's the macro play. They have just improved that macro play, and I think that's actually going to end up helping them out here in a global stage.
Yeah, they know exactly how to leverage positions to their advantage. At any stage, early, mid, late game stage, it doesn't really matter too much. They're very smart, and it's down to the IGLing, the fragging potential, the team coordination. But one thing we need to talk about, especially too here, Nep, is going to be Mafia Ninja. The man in the shadows, right? Was part of DRS in the past, one of the most experienced players you will ever find in the path for PUBG Mobile Esports, and this guy has been helping fix a lot of issues for the team, and they are now coming fully.
Team straight from group stages, buddy.
Straight from group stage is a lot, because I think we're going to have a lot of teams that will put a lot more points forward. But I think if they can survive to that late game, they're very sneaky. You never know where they're going to be in the circle. If they can get that far, then yeah, I think they could do it. But it's kind of depending on how the rest of the lobby plays, I think.
We had a meme during MSL CSA saying if they get past the 5-minute mark, there's a 90% chance they win the game, because they kept hot dropping. But once they fixed the hot drop versus upgrading Yasnai Poliana, they just had no issues reaching the 20 to 25-minute mark pretty much
top
every
3
match.
easily.
Yeah, that was Mafia Ninja.
You were mentioning other teams there. I think one team that you might have in mind that we were kind of talking about, is Kinotrope Gaming.
Yes.
That's a team that you really want to talk about.
I am very excited about Kinotrope. I really, really am. I think they're such an interesting team. They're not one that I've seen a lot of. I feel like this is kind of one of the first times we're going to see them globally. For certainly many of the players, this is their first global event. They only have Ozzy-san, who we know from many years ago. Over the last few years, we've seen him a lot in the global stage. The rest of the players know. And when I saw them recently, it was like, hang on, who are these guys? Because they're actually really good. They're very aggressive, and they seem to hold their own against very experienced teams. So I'm very excited for Kinotrope.
Me too. One team that I'm really excited for, and more than likely Max is going to agree with me, and I know you definitely agree with me already. Can you take a guess who it is? Starts with the W.
A B and a G.
Weibo Gaming, baby, because that could be one of the favorite ones to win this whole event, PMWC, because of the additions that they have had.
Since the Nova era, where they won PMGC back-to-back, right? Have we had a team from China really getting close to competing? Tianba, you can maybe say, but
Occasionally.
I am so hopeful that if a Chinese team is going to win a global event, it is going to be this roster of WBG. They have been so impressive in the PUBG Mobile Hong Kong Invitational in particular. Suk with the bow is a scary fellow, and you're looking at 33Z, you're looking at Order, the fragging duo. Order in particular, this guy, he is experience incarnate, and I think that with the way they played in Hong Kong Invitational, chances are they could win this trophy here in Riyadh.
Well, Max, we're talking about all these teams, but we're missing one team, the main team. And I'm sorry I have to do this, everybody, but we got to talk about the defending champions, Alpha 7. Look at barely making it into PMSL Americas. They were scaring us at one point. Reflections and I were like, are they going to make it or are they not going to make it? Luckily, they did end up making it. They're defending it. Is that one team that we're feeling like they're actually going to be able to win that back-to-back, Neptura?
Do you want me to be honest?
No,
I want you to
lie
be,
to us,
no,
please.
lie to us.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, why
wow.
not?
I think the lobby is the strongest it's ever been. I think we have way too many contenders that play too similarly to A7. Very aggressive, very quick. That they might just, if they don't fix the certain cracks that they have at the moment, they could fall through them.
Max, I see you pondering in your head. Am I agreeing with this? Am I not agreeing with this?
Like, you put it really well, so it's hard for me to disagree, but I want to say that there's a lot of potential on this team. Right?
Oh, yeah.
We saw Squash, like Mafioso, Revo, Cario, we know those guys. They've been sticking with the team for ages now. But Squash is the new addition, replacing McGrellion from last year.
True.
And I feel like Revo found a new best friend in Squash. Like, they are an incredibly good fragging duo, and their potential is incredibly high. We were talking with Reflections, actually, just a few days ago, and he said the team maybe looks a little bit weaker than the previous iteration of Alpha 7 in 2024, but their potential is so high. If they're able to fix those little issues with Squash and him be able to get more experience on the global stage, chances are they could reach that full potential and go 100% here on this tournament and make it work out.
Now, this is one team that I didn't want to talk about that much, but I do want to put a little bit of input there for Alpha 7. Is they're fighting for that $3 million prize pool. Not only just that trophy, right, but the main thing for this team is how are they going to be starting the tournament? Are they going to be starting slow? Are they not? I got a chance to talk to the players actually right before we started the show, and the main thing that I told them is, whatever you do not start slow. Do not play that catch up. And that was one team that told me, you know what? We don't really want to go to that survival stage. We want to go straight to grand finals because we want to be able to have a little bit of extra research, and that could be something that benefits teams.
Yeah, survival stage, yucky. You don't know. Don't want that. Great analysis here on the desk. You know, like you want to try and avoid it. That would be my personal approach because you're putting your position for the finals at risk.
Yeah,
you would just want to get there as early as possible because otherwise, chances are you might not qualify through the survival stage.
Oh, I mean, sometimes those teams like to have that pressure on their shoulders. They become diamonds, but then sometimes they end up crushing and they get exposed for just
piece of coal
for not really being able to do that. But for Alpha 7, we'll have to wait and see what that's going to be happening with that team. As you mentioned, this is one of the strongest lobbies, if not the strongest lobby we have seen, I think, in many years. And we can go on and on and on and talk about those teams, talk about which one's going to be challenging them, which one is maybe going to be surprising a lot of the viewers that they might have not seen before. I know that we definitely have a couple teams here and there, but I think the talk is done. I think I want to see this player. So you know what? Let's go to the introductions to this stage.
The goal isn't to simply compete. It's to bend, break, and dominate your opponents. This week is going to be absolutely phenomenal, and I cannot wait to see what unfolds. My name is Barney Banks, and I am privileged to be your host for the PMWC at the 2025 ESPORTS WORLD CUP. 24 teams will enter the Ghadir Arena and battle through the group stage, the survival stage, and of course, the grand finals. All with $3 million in sight, and of course, this stunning PMWC trophy. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. I think it is time to kick off today by introducing your teams for day one of the group stage, starting with AXTMG. Nongshim Red Force. Weibo Gaming. Yangon Galacticos. Hora Esports. Power Esports. Regnum Carrier Esports. Four Thrives Esports. Flux Esports. Team Vision. Influence Rage. Arena. Team Secret. DRX. And now, your reigning club champions, Team Falcons! And finally, your reigning champions of the PUBG Mobile World Cup at the ESPORTS World Cup, Alpha 7 Esports! The journey to this point, it has been tough, but the real work begins now. It is going to absolutely pop off here on the main stage, so get comfortable. Who has what it takes to perform under the bright lights? Could the reigning champions do it once again? We spoke with Alpha 7 Esports earlier this week to find out.
Alpha 7 Esports have long been the kings of their region, dominating every tournament they enter. But on the global stage, close enough to touch victory, yet always watching it slip away like under a curse, finishing second or third in the biggest events. Time and time again, they came close to glory, only to fall just short. That curse weighed heavy. The world saw their talent. They proved their strength regionally, but the ultimate global crown remained out of reach. Then in 2024, everything changed. At 2024 PMWC, Alpha 7 finally broke the cycle against all odds on the biggest stage in PUBG Mobile. They delivered the performance of a lifetime, champions, the first team from Americas to ever lift the World Cup. It was more than a victory, it was a statement. But since then, the roster has slightly shifted with McGrellin out. At the heart of Alpha 7 is Revo, a PUBG Mobile legend and basically an MVP magnet. The guy's consistent, clutch, and always in the spotlight.
Revo jumps out the 364, and that's the second as well. Revo.
Then there's Carrillo, the team's IGL and mastermind who calls the shots like a chess grandmaster, always 3 moves ahead. Mafioso and the newcomer Squash bring the heat with insane mechanics and nerves of steel, ready to turn any fight on its head. And honestly, Carrillo's not just the brains, he's got the highlight plays to back it up, and he's hungry for more. But being a champion means the target on your back never goes away. Alpha 7 entered 2025 with a different kind of pressure, the pressure to defend, to prove that last year wasn't a fluke, that the crown belongs to them. In PMSL America Spring, Alpha 7, who have long dominated the regional PMSL, didn't just bounce back. They crushed it once again with relentless consistency and their trademark aggression. They maintained their undefeated reign at home while proving their strength internationally. A 3rd place finish secured their ticket back to PMWC. Not as underdogs, not as challengers, as defending champions. From South America to the global stage set in Riyadh, Alpha 7 isn't just back, they never left.
PUBG Mobile fans, prepare yourselves, for we are about to kick off 2025 in style. Things are going to be explosive, exciting, and damn right disgusting out there today, Blank. I cannot wait to see how this lobby's looking and how the first day of competition goes here live in Riyadh.
Criminal roster of players across all teams here in the EWC, the PMWC. We've got Team Falcons coming in through here, coming off the big win over in PMSL EU, and Koa with his signature sunglasses on deck.
Man, it's going to be a treat. So many teams that are absolutely stacked this year. I think that's the rhetoric we're all kind of looking at. Damn, all right, little bit of a flourish as well. Yeah, it works, I'm digging it, Blank. I'm digging the stage too. I think that's one of the fun elements that we're bringing to you this time around. Such a different style, the dynamic nature of it, it really embodies what the scene's looking like today.
You know, even earlier on, I got the chance to, take a little step into the stage during scrims. You have players shouting at one another from across the room. It was good stuff. But the dance has already had some nice discussions about how they feel teams will fare. I think one of the more interesting discussions that was had was about Weibo Gaming. Yeah. Honestly, I think that they're absolutely right and correct in the fact that, China just hasn't been a powerhouse for a long, long time, despite, being straight off the mark very, very early on in PUBG Mobile. But that was a long, long time ago.
Yeah, the optics for it, the potential chance, it's literally what me and Max were setting up back at the start of the day, right? Who's going to be that upcoming challenger? You've got a lot of X's on Alpha 7, a lot of targets, people are looking at them, right? They're aware now, you're coming in, everyone's looking hot, Blank, other regions looking to try and have an opportunity to snatch at that trophy, rip it away from them. And we saw how motivated and close Reject came last year. Not in the building this time around. Someone else has to come up and show us what they're made of. And I think there really is a definitive chance that we get a different champion this year. I'm not actually even expecting the 2-time possibility, Blank. With how stacked this event is, I feel like it would be so much work for Alpha 7. They're going to need to give us their A game through and through.
Well, like Yagami in the building. We do have a bit of an issue, right? In terms of the fact that Alpha 7 barely made it in. Regnum Kalia barely made it in. Yeah. Team Falcons, They didn't look super smooth making up towards that top spot. They still took it. But Regnum Karya, Alpha 7, those are your two teams that a lot of eyes are on them. And Max put it perfectly in the sense that Regnum Karya earned their own spot coming through from PMGO. But if they'd come second in that PMGO, damn dude, they wouldn't be here sitting on this stage today. So again, there needs to be some big improvements from both those teams. Alpha 7, I want to see them have that hunger once again that we saw them, where they were pacing all the time to try and pick themselves up a win. Forever second place, that team.
Yeah, the Cinderella story, right? Forever the bridesmaid, never the bride. They were finally able to have that success story, and what a time for it. I do like as well, it's the way it kind of plays in, right, with the stage, them in the middle, risen up. But is that the true lay of the land? Like you're saying, the differential of how this year is going to be looking once we really start to kick things off. A lot of excitement, a lot of talent. That's really what we're looking at here. I mean, to be honest with you, I think everyone at home this year is going to be in for a treat. Day in, day out, back-to-back blank. So much PUBG Mobile, and you need to make sure you clear your schedule to fit it all in, because it's going to be world-class.
All right, this is a feast. It's going to be calorific on the stage, and it will be treats back-to-back. Some sweeties for the PUBG Mobile fans.
Oh, yeah.
A couple of bonbons been thrown in there.
Sugar rush gameplay.
But yeah, I think the interesting thing here right now is you can see it's quite pensive in the room, quite pensive.
Yeah.
Where we're all on 0 points right now. You know, no one's got that head jump start where they're feeling a little bit more confident about their position in this tournament. We're just waiting to get into our first game here. I believe we're very, very close to go, so don't worry.
Headsets
it is coming.
Yeah. Man, it's exciting as well, because I think, you know, you raise a good point there, Blank, where kind of the bookends of the entire event, right, having that nature of opening game, where everyone's on same points, nil point, nothing to play with, right? It's why it feels so intense, because there is those moments of like, all right, we don't actually even know the full reverberation to some of the outcomes from this map for quite some time. It's why it makes it kind of fun, it makes it exciting to see how it's going to go. I'll tell you what I do enjoy as well. Seeing quite a few mascots this year. People have got like the little teddy bears out. People are feeling it, bro.
I'll tell you what, the mascots are out, the jerseys are starting to become a little bit more creative. It's quite nice to see, honestly. I think Alpha 7 did have like a little bit of a part in that. I think that they would, with them having the holographic jersey for so long now, a lot of the teams decided, you know, we gotta bring the fashion game up just a little bit.
Gonna make the most of it. Strapped up, getting themselves ready. Yeah, it feels like the competition's starting to heat up at this point, but who's going to be able to beat the heat? That's the question. So much to play for here. Ridiculous lion's share of prize pool on the line. The glory, the legacy, the opportunity for so many of these teams, players, regions, all building to all be an explosive 2 weeks live from Saudi Arabia.
Now you want to start things though with a tangle. That's the worst way to start things here.
Make sure you get the left in the left here. Don't get them muddled up.
You're locked in as soon as those headphones go on. Quite a few of the teams that are coming through from Americas. I do worry for Americas a little bit, honestly, just because they're quite an aggressive region. I think the one thing that does play into, definitely when we get through to those finals. But we'll be starting things off here over on Sandhog.
Oh yes, here we go. This is what we were waiting for. The anticipation building, the environment, the stage, the fight, the clash between all of our teams. Day in, day out, the PUBG Mobile World Cup. It starts right here, right now.
We got the honey plane, so we certainly bring in the sugar, like we were saying. And this is the first treat of the day. And all our players ready to go. Al-Haji, you can spot him straight away down the bottom left. He is a big powerhouse inside of PUBG Mobile. Excited to see what he can do. Constantly coming back to the big stage.
Oh yeah, fan favorite for the region as well. Everyone was going absolutely ballistic in the crowd last year whenever they'd see Al-Haji popping off. And I can't wait to see what he'll do this time around. Power gaming, never disappoint, buddy.
And there's Silas, top right. One of the best players in the world. I think that's an undisputed fact. Let's see if he can lead his team to victory. Max was saying over on the desk, a very consistent roster so far overall. We're jumping straight into things though. Fourth rise over towards Hatin on a hot drop. to start things off, Jackie. And Nongshim Red Force also down towards ruins.
Well, let's see how this goes once we get into the action here and see what things are going to be developing like, obviously, with those early hot drops, Blank. It's always exciting, mate. This is one of those where we get a little bit of a telltale sign as well if teams are going to pull off with some of these more default drops if it goes wrong.
We're already losing one. That's over towards Power. So 4 Thrives currently thriving over towards Hatin. We're on board with AX and Nongshim Red Force in the ruins.
Scrambling to grab themselves some bits and bobs to fight with. Nongshim Red Force taking a bit of a dink towards the backside as well. DPS is in play. They start to make their move. This is real rough as well for Power, Blank. I mean, down to just one man left standing already. I know I was hyping him up a little bit, kind of a fan favorite for the crowd, but that is not a dream start whatsoever.
And 4 Thrives, 3 eliminations, 4 players still up and kicking. And they will be kicking Power out from Hatin going forward. On the other hand, Nongshim Red Force taking a fair bit of damage. AX currently looking a lot more healthy here compared to them. Controlling on the outside of ruins right now. A little bit tough when you get on the back foot here, especially in terms of meds. Because a lot of these rooms do get cut off, and AX is starting to increase their domain within the ruins itself.
The opportunity to play with, though. Some weapons established there. Henry in the back line. With the DBS on deck as well, waiting for the close range. A little bit of scouting, keep your distance. No overcommit. They're aware of each other.
This could be good, though, for Team Falcons, of all teams, actually. Head up towards that north side. We know that Ralph does like to scout out towards ruins in the first place, and with the circle going over towards the east, if you can cut out 2 teams from ruins, you open up a very consistent, easy path over towards Painan. Here's a replay coming through of all the action that went down over towards Hatin. It was a rough and tumble of a start there for Power.
Yeah, brutal on the replay, catching the highlights from that one actually for Power Gaming. Mid-looting, quick to the drop, just able to make the play on it. Always the chance for maybe a little bit of acclamation if you can stay alive. One player in the opening moments, first 15 seconds, yeah. Not the sort of sight that you'd like to see. Ooh, nice. You just speak on it, Blank.
Yeah, good catch. Very, very good catch. And again, to be honest with you, AX, with the amount of control they've had throughout the entirety of this fight, they want to conclude this soon. They know they need to go towards that eastern side where our circle popped.
Equal trade so far. Looking to close the gap with the DBS, but the quick burst back over, looking pretty good actually. These trades though, so messy. Either side taking heavy hits, looking to see if they can convert. DBS just spamming out the shots. Need to play medic, get Henry back on his feet. Got the elevated fight, White swing out on the corner, drop down into it. And there you have it. Come out on top in the end, being able to shut down the Red Force. Nongshim out on that one as AX will survive. Bit of a nail biter, but they get through it.
I mean, for AX, fans of that team will be very, very pleased with that one. And honestly, it's not what I was expecting. I'm happy to be surprised in that as well, because the control they had on that fight was spectacular. A lot of teams, when we see like this kind of an improvement and then heading over towards EWC, it was sort of a surprise pick for us coming through. Yeah. I was excited to see it. I'm very, very surprised to see that kind of control coming through early. Now, the question is whether they can do that kind of thing to a much more consistent team of the lobby. We're looking at scarier teams. Alpha 7, DRX, Ragnar Kaya, Weibo Gaming. Can they kind of have that success versus them? We'll wait and see. But to start things off, that was very, very clean by the books.
Even just to get the nerves out of the way immediately as well, like the caliber of the stage you've immediately been thrown into, mate. It's one of those where that feels so good for you compared to the outcome of losing that.
Especially as a special invite as well, because in a lot of instances when we have that invite come through, a lot of times that team doesn't do amazingly well, but it's nice to have them here. But this is a very keen team to start things off, so I'm impressed. I'm impressed to start things off. Here's Ragnar Kaya on your screens. Currently up towards Cal right now on the north side of the map. Locked in a fray, though, with Weibo Gaming. We might just be able to get some answers nice and early. Weibo versus Ragnar Kaya, how that pans out. The well-known player, Order. Star-studded player, in fact, in Order. Has had so much success and consistent success over the years. Order versus side, I say that could be a very, very fun matchup.
We can check in as well, of course, with our reigning champions at the minute, Alpha 7. Got Mafioso doing a bit of scouting work as well, the only player separated away. Squash, another big talking point that we'll develop into over the course of the event as well. Ciari's performing here. Bit of a new look. It's like 25%, I think, the maths on that one, Blank. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's always been the case for Alpha 7, is just finding that fourth player. It's never been easy for them. Squash is returning to the game after a year. Took a little bit of a hiatus from it, but they immediately had him back. Fair play. It is unfortunate to see McGrellan not in the roster, though. McGrellan was a player that they had found massive success with internationally, and I thought, you know, that they would work with him, but I just think the team did not gel, despite the ridiculous amount of success they were able to find over at EWC. So yeah, weird. Weibo Gaming is going to give up the chase here, though. They're going to head down towards that south side. I reckon Kaya don't take any casualties off the back of that one, which is good to see.
Obviously, threw the highlight out there as well towards Falcons early. You can see they've had a relatively unscathed path up to this point. Going to go for the crossing as well on the bridge here. So potentially a bit of an opportunity for a skirmish to come up. AX as well making their move in now, coming over towards Painan. Again, not really had much of an encounter since. Nice to get the overview, though, with the map screen. You can see New Circle coming in and the shift for our teams here.
It's a cool shift as well on the circle. I've never, ever seen a Lakawi finish in my entire time of casting PUBG Mobile. So we can go east again, end up in Lakawi. I'd be very, very happy. I think I've seen every other finish here on Sandhawk other than Lakawi. Fireflux, Falcons are heading up here. I don't know how they're able to get towards this position unseen.
Man, that's an instant knock as well. Now, Valo being able to pick up pretty big impact onto this. Yeah, that's crazy. It felt like actually with the position they were in, there must have been some kind of visual contact from it. Really not ideal. 3 quick nades at the cast out. 2 knocks. Got one back over onto the Falcon side Blank, but for what it is, a bit of a messy encounter here.
I think the Fireflux, if I was looking at it, I think they tried to regroup from that northwest side and then come back down towards Cave to get together. But Falcons have been so silent on their approach. Despite having the vehicle as well.
Yeah.
So you imagine here the end, surely. And we're going to get our circle closing in just roughly 15 seconds. We're heading over towards the east side of Quarry. Now, Quarry is a big problem, Jackie, for a lot of these teams. It's low ground in there. Don't particularly want to head towards that position. There's a lot of sight lines from that eastern side of Quarry that are on the high ground looking down into Quarry. So you have to either go above on the north side or down towards the south. And it's going to funnel teams into awkward scenarios. So Falcons already taking out the majority of Fireflux. It's beautiful for the Ralph. Okay.
Oh, mate. You say taking out the majority, they might actually just take them all down at this point. Being able to track them all down there, perfect peek in, gets the drop on them, literally. Now, there has been a bit of a proverbial dinner bell that was rung, and that's AX on the rotate over. They would have heard some of this gunfire release, trying to at least carve a path back around. Don't want to half commit to this, seeing the Falcons are up on high.
I think it's a smart move from AX. I mean, the Cave is a messy area to try and push, try and play around, get those third parties in. You don't have exact location either. So I think for AX just to head ahead, you know, and they realize this is clean. We're not getting in contact with absolutely anybody on this rotate. So they get ahead. They sit on the edge of Quarry. And Falcons need to make a decision on how they want to play through. A lot of times on this circle, they actually shift down towards the south side here, Jackie, before moving up towards the north. So I'll be interested to see how they do play out these next moments. 4 Thrives. They won their fight over towards Hutton versus Power earlier on and now have come into contact with Weibo Gaming. Now, that's kind of interesting to me, right? If Weibo Gaming didn't spend so much time over towards Cow, potentially they were here a little bit sooner than 4 Thrives, but felt like the aim of the game for 4 Thrives here was just to get into the circle ASAP.
So it is a bit of a split as well with the scout. So we'll see if he can make his passage safely. the solo head count. Obviously, Scarface, the only man left from the squad after the cave shenanigans that we saw, tucks himself in, and then you have Easy on the long old quest. He tanked himself up, late loot, just trying to make his way down. Obviously, that was Power Gaming losing absolutely everyone bar Easy in the opening few seconds.
Come on, let's head north. Let's head north on this circle. Show me one Lakawi, please. Fun area of the map right now. You got like a lot of high ground that slopes down over towards Kampang, over towards the Kari itself. It's a little bit open on those high grounds as well. There is more buildings down towards that eastern side, but that means you are picking up the low ground early on. If you have to move out that area, it is a death sentence. Playzone takes down Toshvik. Now that is interesting. I don't know how that's happened for Breaking Kaya. They have really dallied on their escape outward.
You cannot afford to dilly-dally. It's time to lock in. And they're going to have two teams ahead of them as well. So the pathway forward is going to be a bit rough. Toshvik on the knock. You've got Wavo as well with the damage coming over the top. Before it gets close combat here, I mean, potentially the DPS. You've got the crossfire set up just on the doorway, but it's the nade usage that could make the world of difference. A few of them are back pocket. Already a bit of splash damage over. Slight peek on the angle. Oh, hang on a minute. This really is a dinner bell. You got the third party just on the top of the ridge as well.
The thing was this though, Jackie, this is exactly what I was talking about. That high ground looking down to Lakawi is horrible to play against. Before Thrice though, they just need to worry about getting backstabbed. I think Team Vision has made their way on over, and there's Volt already finding T24. There's Angdon Galacticus finding Regnum Kaya, the entirety of them as well. Goodness me, just waiting for them on the wings there.
Yeah, fragmented, one knock into Toshvik, everyone else just being shot at from two separate sides. It really does start to crumble. This was 4-5, so we're setting themselves up to get the third party down from the top of the ridge. Like you said, they've been ran up on, and it's not looking good whatsoever. Quickly, they are dispatched. Mopped up like a spilt drink, Blank.
It was a great push.
Yeah.
Through from Vision. Honestly, Volt does a huge amount of work in that instance. I'm surprised that 4th Rise fell for that so suddenly, and I think that's because they got a little bit too aggressive down towards the position early. And that is always the difficulty with taking that high ground, that your back is not protected. Aura though, no fear. Certainly feeling it now, it's a little bit. So as from DRX, of all teams, down towards the south side of this, actually getting slightly involved. And it's nice to see, Horror getting aggressive, because it's exactly what Neptera talked about on the dares count. Teams maybe see them as a bit of a passive team, but no, they've got a little bit of a bite to them.
Oh yeah. Don't want to get those hands too close, they'll bite back. It's rough for Order as well, how he was setting himself up. Actually quite nice with the cook on the nades. You can see he was trying to just go in for the knock, didn't expect the shot from the side, instantly downed, and then fully committed because of it. Yeah, DRX might actually have a little bit more to say about this one. Longer in development as well. You've got a good read on it. Oh, hang on a minute. Alpha 7 now dropping over. Mafioso trying to bail out. Damage comes through. Quick damage on the Carrillo. There's the pre-nade as well. Oh, nearly, mate. Couldn't get it through the window.
Yeah, I mean, that's a nade you should not be missing here in EWC, right? I don't think you should be missing those kind of nades. For Alpha 7, now they're surrounded. Revo, Mafioso, keep things under wraps. Team Secret, they're coming over towards that building, over towards Revo is. He's got a big task ahead of him.
It was a cook on the nade, cast it out, doesn't look like it's going to be on target. Vision as well, scrapping. Meanwhile, on the left-hand side of the feed, it's all kicking off. Damage back down onto 4 primes. That was the replay that we had there with the real action here. Let's see how it goes.
There's 4 teams in this compound, dude. This is unbelievable. You've got Yangon Galacticos, Alpha 7, Team Secret, E-Arena, all battling for control here. I think Team Secret picked their moment very nicely. I think Team Vision maybe missed their moment there. But they could have come down slightly earlier, as opposed to looking over towards this fight happening between Weibo as well as Horror Esports in Lakawi. I think DRX does have a nice spot, over on this eastern side. They can stalk the opponent on the west.
Yeah, it feels like they've been picking their fights nicely as well. The one pick they were able to find was good timing on it. They're not overcommitted if they're playing the long game on this one. Everyone being so closely grouped, there's a lot of potential for a big point earner the longer it goes on. A lot of chip damage being thrown out between these teams as well. Weibo going down in the meantime. Another squad eliminated as they are thrown to the wayside. it's been so rough as well. Mafio so consistent, just taking so much damage, having to tuck in. Really doesn't have an angle to fight from at all. Smile. Be happy with that one on the peak back over. Good tag straight up. Say goodbye.
It's good unleash over towards E Arena. Very nice angle to play in. One goes down after all. Maybe Team Vision didn't miss a trick after all, by the way. If you can clean out Horror Esports, they have a very nice ability to kind of sweep on this eastern side. But I'm very, very excited to see who wins out on this compound eventually. Here's Marcelo. Again, this is what they wanted to do in the first place. Get rid of Horror Esports, then they can start to move down over towards DRX. They will cut themselves out a huge amount of space on the northeast side. And even if it goes over towards the west, they do have a scout in Never Alone, currently playing in the compound on that northwest, keeping tabs on that huge fight ongoing inside that compound that you see on your screen right now with Team Sleeper Alpha 7. Yangon Galacticos, nice nade, comes through again. 6 elims on the match.
Yo, honestly, you've got to give him props. Vision looking really crisp right now. That was a beautiful nade. Great timing on it. Ooh, hang on. Going to be able to get the full commit onto this, though. Looking for a window. Obviously wanted to get the pick back up. Couldn't do it. Zahora out on the adjustment there. Great work from Vision. Topping right now on the elim points. That's 8 that they're rocking with.
It's a really, really nice start. And Sandhawk is particularly good for this, Jackie, where you're able to get a big lead at the start of the day just because it encourages one team to take control of the match. That was a nice step out from Borazin, honestly. But Devotee, the reaction speeds on that were insane.
It's a good start for his teammate as well, the way they've read it. You play off the back of the nade into the peaks. You've got to force them into the fight. It's a good engagement, actually. Like, impressive stuff. They've been playing a relatively passive game rather than the hot drop that we saw to start off with, but rotations have been all right. The teamwork looked pretty good. Rough on the move here, though. Limited cover to work with and influence Rage. They take the peak up and do get the shot back over.
If it's quite honest, like it has been hard for them. There hasn't been too many areas to jump in. I mean, Arian will get ahead here. Well, it's Cyrax.
It's the easy cam. Oh, hey, that's
take out influence.
He's literally had the backline this whole time, by the way. He's been slowly making his move in, right? He's rocked up, found influence Rage, and made the play. Oh, easy.
Fair play. Fair play.
2 elim points. Can't actually turn your nose up at that blank.
No, you can't.
Let's see if he does any more. I'm rooting for him. Oh, footsteps heard.
Yeah.
Nah, he's not joking around.
Hey, I mean, he outlived 4 thrives, though, so...
It's really not that bad, considering that could have been literally like a 0-point game. Like,
yeah.
You'll take it.
No, absolutely you will. They got, I think, a 2 off the back of that.
Yeah.
Nice. Yangon Galacticos will finish off Alpha 7, who get 1 pity point in terms of placements. Any other elims that came their way. Team Secret now struggling. And this has been a great setup from Vision. Honestly, this whole time. Look at this line that they've got. You can see it right there. Looking out over towards Team Secret as well as Yangon Galacticos. As they leave that compound, not only will they be trying to tear shreds out of one another, but it also will be Team Vision having some pretty deadly vision their way.
Potential stab in the back as well still. From Joker onto AX as they start to make their rotation at the top. Like you say, it's a good setup from Vision, but I'm also liking what DRX are working with. Oh, hang on though. Volt still keeping the electricity going. More so than anything, right? You're going to have that relatively equal tie right now in the elimination points between both of them. Great game of how they've been keeping themselves involved. It's a nice sprint to at least have an understanding of the rotations in for DRX. Humbin was playing far further out, obviously scouting down. Nade onto the top. Never Alone takes a hefty hit from that one. Got to back up a bit. Team Secret caught in the crossfire as well.
Smile finding a lot of Team Secret there. So stolen away, a lot away from Vision, honestly, on their exit. You can see there that Yangon Galacticos, 13 elims this game. An absolute galactic performance from them. E-Arena goes down. Iron goes down as well. That's the Yangon Galacticos. Another tag on, which takes them up to 14 elims on the first map of the day. Beautiful stuff. It's Team Falcons that I'm interested in. You know, they've had a pretty casual game. They really need to make it count now, though. the big two teams that will be going head-to-head will be DRX and Vision going forward. DRX has been very quiet, though, Jackie.
They have, yeah. This is what we were looking at, right? Kind of passive, just the sort of third-party fights when they had a few off angles. Oof. Bullets raining down.
Funny thing, they have the circle. The Yangon Galactica.
You know what, you are right. I mean, it's kind of awkward, right, with the split at least. A lot of damage onto them, but with how many E-limbs they've been able to rack up already.
Wow.
They're looking crisp, like, not going to lie, from the position you're in. Maybe there's still a chance to get a little bit more out of this one. Be a hell of a day if they can kick it off like this, Mike.
Falcons have to leave. Luckily for them, DRX as well as Vision just get into contact with one another.
Here we go. Scrap starting to unfold. Damage over the top. Marcelo with the pick up, spamming into the smoke. Bhayeko over the top. Nade straight onto him as well. So Vision, it's getting risky. And that's DRX with the damage being dealt. Volt suddenly clambering to pick this one back up. Meanwhile, you've got DRX from the sideline with his own pushing in, nipping at their heels. They've got to be forced further forward. The nades blank with how closely grouped they are. One right on target would finish them.
What are you doing? They drove their own teammates into the barrage of nades. Smile goes down and Team Falcons now looking for the finish. But it was clean from DRX. Now looking to get all their players back up on their feet. We see if Team Falcons can finish them off. It's Ralph, Koa, as well as Redux. Either side of the circle. Preliminary grenades going out over towards the hard cover so you know they're working with no information.
Nades in. Stepping forward, the feet are on the ground right now. DRX, they saved themselves. Could have been misery in the previous fight. The smorgasbord of mistakes have kept them in it to win it, and Hyunbin tries to unleash. That's one clean connection back on a round. Koa, low on HP. DRX dealing damage right now as the E-limbs are racking up. In a position to close it and grab themselves a chicken dinner on the first game with the shots raining true. It's all on Redux. We need to be a clutch from the back line, and that's not going to happen. DRX will take it.
Yeah, coming to play here. It's not quite D plus K, but DRX are looking good on the main stage. Very, very nice to see here for them. Team Falcons will take that second place. It's a good position to be in for them, Jackie.
It really is. Beautiful stuff. I mean, hell of a start to the day for Yangon Galacticas, right? Like the E-limbs, absolutely beautiful. You're taking really heads-up fights. You've been able to build up that momentum. For a first game, that's the performance I'd want every time. Yeah, we didn't get the chicken dinner blank, but the blood's pumping, the comms look clean. That matters a lot.
No, Ralph doesn't seem to lose that game, but I think that they should be happy. They were working with little to no information there, and they really had to cut it down to the wire moving out from that blue. They were banking on Vision and DRX actually fighting one another, and it took so long to get involved. But what was that car play, dude?
Mate, it just felt so confusing in the moment as well, right? Because you're like,
why are you backing your teammate?
You've got the intense fight here. What is this playing? Like, where's this going from? The comedy of error that then just unfolded into everyone, obviously, having to be closely grouped. You eat a nade, no spacing, nothing you can do. The difference of one nade is just completely removing them from what was otherwise a really great sort of mid-flow of the game.
The game was unreal from Vision, and to end in an embarrassing moment like that does feel wrong. They still get themselves a lot of points on the back of it, though, Jackie.
They really do. They really do. And a lot more action to come. So join us after the break.
Cybertron's future is near.
Autobots, roll out!
spark will crowd a new load of Cybertron. Roll for freedom. A victory for all sentient beings.
What a first match that we have had here at PMWC at EWC 25. Boy, I was not expecting DRX to get that win, Max, but they came out on top.
I was like, there's no D plus Kia R, but DRX are the new D plus Kia. Does that make sense? I don't know, maybe. But South Korea here to play. It feels really good. And really good entry point to the East, playing it pretty safe, waiting until the very end. Got a really good nade onto Vision that really just unlocked the potential for them to win that match.
It felt a bit like an underdog type of game, right? You were telling me that a lot of these teams, I mean, big teams that we were expecting to do good, they didn't end up performing that good. One team that actually ended up surprising me, and I feel like it surprised a lot of us, was Yangon Galacticos. The amount of eliminations this team got.
They're like, what the hell is happening in that Alpha 7 compound? I guess we'll send it and just eliminate everyone. They got almost double-digit eliminations that game, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. So Yangon Galacticos, I think a lot of teams here qualified through PMSLs. They made it through PMCL, the Challengers Cup, and people not really looking towards their direction too much and actually getting a really good start here on Sanhok.
I mean, Neptura, them being able to achieve 14 eliminations, that's one way that you want to be able to start PMWC.
That is wild, and I think it really is down to all of those third parties because they were really on top of the ball when it came to actually finding those opportunities to get those eliminations. A lot of them were through those third-party opportunities. They were just like, oh, there's an angle, there's a team fighting, there's an angle, let's get that angle and move on. So really, really good stuff from them. It's nice to see them step up like this.
Yeah, I mean, Team Vision here getting themselves a third place with 10 eliminations. Two teams able to get double-digit eliminations alongside Yangon Galacticos, and they had a really good third party onto Hora versus WBG. That fight was just stretched out to its absolute limits. I think it went on for about 5 minutes, if not more.
For way too long.
Yeah, and they were like, well, this fight is kind of stupid. It's taking this long. So it's like, we're just going to roll on in, get those stragglers, get the few points, and after that, get a nice transition to go fight DRX.
Yep.
Unfortunately, DRX had nades, as we did see, but it was a really good start from Vision that after all of the teams that came out of MENA, I was really not having high expectations for
Yes. That was a massive surprise for all of us. I feel like with Team Vision, the way that they were able to perform here on this first match, something that actually ended up surprising me. I was expecting to have one hot drop. Instead, Max and Neff, we ended up having two hot drops.
We did. We had two of them. And then we had, what was it, Power also with Fourth Thrives, that's right. But then we also had Nongshim Red Force and AXTMG, Max.
Yep.
What a weird one.
Weird.
Because normally AXTMG, for those who know, looking back at the MPS, they drop Northwest Island. They drop on the mountaintop. I think they might have been scared of a possible flex out of Power and Fourth Thrives outside of Heartin. So like, we're just going to give that space away and go for Ruins instead. But Nongshim Red Force dropped there. Like, that is a known fact. And they still try and take it away, which I don't know why, because that's a bit unnecessary, but they win it, so I can't complain too much.
I want to pause it, though. Was it on purpose?
You think so?
Possibly. Now, I have seen many times before, if a team wins a hot drop, that carries momentum in through the rest of the game. They're able to build on top of that and get a lot of eliminations. Sandhawk is this team's best map. So for me, I'm like, okay, that's a weird hot drop. That's a weird choice. Was it on purpose? Did they think we can win this against Nongshim? Let's go for it, get that momentum, and get some elims for the first game? It's entirely possible.
I feel like the reason why we're saying this could be their best map is because they do end up playing it twice at BMPS, so they have a little bit extra experience when it came to that one.
Very confident.
Now, you got a chance to talk to the Falcons coach.
I did.
And I know you were happy to mention something about this team.
I was. Pico. Shout out to him. He was talking to me about the team, and I was like, are you going to play any different? Because, you're not playing tomorrow, all of this. And he said, no, we're just going to play normally. We're chill. And I was like, okay. Normal in these sorts of lobbies, especially the first day, is everybody kind of tiptoes around each other a little bit. Certainly in the early stages of the game, you kind of trying to get a feel for how the lobby's going to play. Not with this team. They went all out very, very early on, and so I'm like, hey, that's not normal. Pico, you lied to me. How dare you? That's not normal. They came in with real aggression, and actually, it was really impressive. I liked it.
And it worked out, clearly, right? Against them in second place. If they had 4 players, maybe it would work out, but DRX were very smart about the way playing that ridge. They get control of the rocks, and then Falcons couldn't do much. But until that point, it was a very, very solid match here coming out from Team Falcons. But again, let's keep in mind, PMGC, 3rd place, right, with Enigma Galaxy. PMGO, 2nd place. The 3rd place curse has been broken. Come on, if they win it here, that would be such a magnificent comeback storyline for them.
Just the line is just going to keep going up for that team. Now, another team that we were expecting them, especially with the circle that we ended up getting, Max, was Alpha 7. We thought that they were going to be able to do a little bit more, but I know you want to rage on this team because I was also raging watching what happened.
I am confused. Because Alpha 7, if you want to go for that road trifecta compound, I don't really have a big issue with that. I think that going for the DRX Ridge would maybe be a better decision overall. But instead, what do? They go right into the road trifecta compound, which is a very crashable compound. And they stay split. They have 1 player in each building. And guess what? Team Secret come in. Yangon Galacticos come in. Another team come in right after that. I don't really know why they decided to stay split for that long when you know you're going to get crashed. Go into 2 buildings as a 2-2 or even have 4 players in 1 building. I don't care, but you need to be set up for defense because you are not going to hold 4 buildings as a full squad.
No, it's a really, really difficult thing. But those buildings are so hard to play anyway. It's so nadeable, so low ground. It's just hard. So it's kind of like you lose whatever you do, really.
It was one of those teams that you expected that team to just stay a little bit compact. It didn't end up happening to them. But don't forget that from July 25th to the 27th and August 1st to the 3rd, log into Summon Airdrops and collect 2025 airdrop vouchers to enter prize draws for official merchandise, smartphones, BD partner rewards, permanent in-game items, and more. Every participant is guaranteed to win. Additionally, from July 25th to the 31st, vote for your favorite airdrop partner for a chance to receive special gifts from them. Don't miss this year's airdrop carnival and unbox your surprise. I know I'm going to be doing it. Max probably has already done it, and Neptura is going to be doing it too. Now, going back to this game, I mean, one thing that actually ended up surprising me in regards to what you were saying with Falcons is how they were actually able to crash on Fireflux and take control of that southern part.
It's crazy, right? I mean, I know Blank and Jackie were talking about it a little bit there, where it's like you're not usually able to get up there, let alone silently, especially in vehicles. So it's kind of a bit of a miracle they made it up there to begin with. And then what really impressed me was the follow-through. They got the 2 initial knocks, but they didn't leave it there. You saw Raouf actually go into the cave, spot that extra player, and get rid of him. And then later on in that Elim feed, we saw them do it again and pick off that final player. So, they followed through with that fight.
They didn't catch, full in the cave itself.
Yeah.
Oh, was it on purpose?
I am the bat catcher.
Was it on purpose?
He had an entire backstory in that cave where he got spotted out by Raoul. But it was an interesting fight. Cave is always a little bit weird to fight around. Yeah. But it worked out at the end. And, Falcons able to just maneuver their way through and make it out.
It definitely did. Do you think, I know that was the only Sandhawk that we're going to be playing for today, but going into tomorrow, do you think these teams are going to be able to maybe readjust in regards to the hot drops, Max?
If you're talking about AXTMG versus Nongshim Red Forces like that one hot drop, I think that I want to see AXTMG give up on it.
I do too.
Frank, because
even though they won?
Yeah, because it's a 50-50, right? If they lost 1 player, guess what? Your chances of making it that far in the game is going to go down drastically. I think you go back to Northwest. Guess what? Camp Alpha is open. No teams dropped there, but we're also going to have different groups now, I think about it. So maybe you'd have to think about it a bit more. It might not be free tomorrow, but the previous drop was fine.
Yeah.
If you can go there again, just go and play your game.
Now, Neptura, for this match, you got a chance to talk about Team Falcons. You got a chance to talk about some of the other teams as well. Is there anything that kind of surprised you from what you saw here happen in the first game?
I kind of want to say actually Team Vision in the final phase up against DRX. I thought they could actually win it against DRX. They looked really mobile. They looked really aggressive. They had that momentum going. Just DRX's nades were able to pull through. But actually Team Vision, I was like, okay, nice. A little bit of a step up. I'm going to be looking for them.
Yeah, there was one player of DRX, I forgot who it was exactly, but that played very respectfully at one point. They were taking so much damage from Team Vision. He goes back, goes for a first aid, and the moment he comes back up, he gets onto the front line, holds a little bit more space to keep his team safe. Hopefully they don't get fleshed out. Fleshed out, they could be also. But they don't lose those players.
Yeah.
He gets in nade range, gets an amazing nade. I think he gets 3 eliminations at the end onto Team Vision, gets everyone confirmed, and then they can just start getting the res, getting full control of the high ground, and even then Falcons, I think they could have won if they pushed it right after that fight, but they had very limited information, which makes it a little bit hard for you to commit to a play when you don't know what is still available on the opposing side.
I was really happy, especially when we saw that push on Horror Esports. The way that they were able to just finish that off without losing any players, that's the consistency that I want to continue to see out of that team. Now, as mentioned, Horror, that brings something up there, Max?
I was going to talk about Team Vision again, actually.
Okay, go
for it. They get a knock onto WBG.
Yes.
They instantly send it. They were so confident, which you know some teams that maybe are playing for the first time at a global event, they're like, no, WBG? Who the hell is that? We're going to send it regardless. So I love to see a team like that, they're seen as an underdog, be confident. That is what you need if you want to go for the trophy.
I mean, the crowd is hyped. I'm hyped. I'm glad that we got a chance to see Falcons and kind of like, in a way, some of the top teams as well being able to at least put up some eliminations under here. Now, I want you to give me just a quick name. Going into Erangel, which team are you going to be looking at, Natura?
WBG.
Ooh, okay, Max?
Regnum Karya.
Okay. Well, you know what? Let's send it over to Blank and Jackie, and let's see maybe which teams you guys have in mind.
Hey, thank you, Seven. I'm excited for this one, man. You know what? It's a spicy question. I'm liking it. He's not only desk hosting, he's cast hosting, he's doing it all. Go on, Blank. Who do you think? Who's going to show up here today?
I think what I'm looking at least. I'm kind of looking at Power, to be honest with you, and their drop over towards Yasnaya, right?
Yeah.
Because there's a potential chance that they drop alongside with Weibo Gaming, and I'd be interested to see how that hot drop happens, because a lot of times, you know, you can comfortably control Yasnaya on both sides. I do wonder if Weibo's going to be a little bit unhappy with a team dropping with them. We'll have to wait and see, because a lot of these drops can change. Also, Team Falcons in PMSL EU, they really struggle with Papada Supermassive actually dropping on top of them. In Pachinki, it really hurt their league stage. I'll see if because right now Kinotrope could drop on them, potentially. But we'll see, because I do think Team Falcons needs that spot on the map to succeed, especially with Arko being 3 matches a day.
No, I'm liking it. I like the setup here. You give some sort of good thought there for some of the storylines, Blank. I think it's in. Yeah, no worries. I got you, homie. But I think it's a good storyline as well in the sense of Power, because that is actually literally like a power struggle. If you think about sort of the opening result from the first game there, you do squeeze out 2 points with Easy being able to get the backstab off late onto Influence Rage. But outside of that, that was a hot drop that obviously was a heavy hand straight to the face, right? Another rough outcome here, another rough start. I feel like it compounds so quickly, dude. Day one, hot drop after hot drop. If it all starts to go wrong, you build a very slippery slope for yourselves. So I'd love to see them fix that before we're saying, oh, game 3, it's not looking great. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think for Power as well, the big issue for them is that most of the tournaments that we've seen internationally, it's always been pretty bad start to squeezing out a qualification right at the end there, or just barely missing out on a qualification. And I think that that's something that Power just can't afford to have. No. When we've seen Power done the best in the past, is where they get a really clean start, they get out the gate running, that's when they do very, very well. So I think that kind of momentum buster towards the beginning of the tournament will hurt this team.
Yeah, you've got to feed the hot hand a little bit. You know, one thing that I think we noticed a lot last year as well was the difference in the body language from that team. When things are on, like you say, the confidence is there, they're feeling themselves, you see the happiness. When things aren't on, it does take a little bit of a different turn.
Al-Haji has this astonishing capability to either look like the angriest guy in the room or the happiest dude on earth. It's interesting. It's definitely interesting. Hopefully we get to see the more happy side of Al-Haji. We want to see Al happy. That's what we want to see. Yeah,
that's good. That's good. No, 100%, man. I think that human element of PUBG Mobile is something that sometimes you sort of take for granted, right? Especially more so when we're online. You don't get that all the time to see the real sort of emotions for a team, and it really does run free, especially in this kind of environment, right? Like grand stage, very different, all-encompassing with how you're sort of down in the middle, all of your other opponents around you, the crowd onlooking from all angles. Yeah, the anticipation and pressure could build up quite quickly. If you're just joining us as well, we're getting ready to kick off our second outing of the day here for the PUBG Mobile World Cup, live from Riyadh, Saudi Arabia at the ESPORTS World Cup 2025. First game had some great storylines to it. They broke it down very succinctly on the desk there. We were saying the highlights, well, the ebb and flow of vision, looking like they had a great control of the early game. Good mid-portion with the fights they took. Late game, though, comedy of errors in that encounter where they sort of shoved themselves into harm's way blank. DRX being able to pull the wool over everyone's eyes. Very passive but smart fights. Little backstab, little moments, all building to good map control that resulted in them getting a great chicken dinner. And then, of course, Galacticus coming at you like a super villain, just ruining everyone blank. Eliminations on, what was that? Another elimination.
It's right, we were stacking them. We were stacking them. We were looking like a wedding cake of eliminations during that game. And I think the thing is that for Yangon Galacticos, when you were looking at them during that match, they were just compounding elimination after elimination. They went up to 7 elims, then it was suddenly 11, then we're finishing on 14. I was like, where are they all coming from? It was just some very clean sweeps across the board. So for Yangon Galacticos, I do want to see more of that, please.
Oh, yes.
Honestly. But yeah, I think for DRX as well, it's good that you bring them up because there's some big boosts to fill for South Korea, especially after last year's PMGC with D+ actually winning that over in London. But for DRX, I do think that they have some very, very strong players on side, some very storied players on side. I mean, Hyunbin's been around for many, many years and has always been quite successful, and that's a good way to start things out. For South Korea in general, the macro is very, very good.
It really is. It really is. You know what, though? I think we're having a good time right now setting the stage, but why don't you see how much fun the players have been having? Check this out. Yes, as you can see, they've been enjoying themselves thoroughly, Blank, winning prizes, showing us the spins with the basketballs, and exploring all that Boulevard City has to offer, it seems.
Yeah, I loved it. You know, they took Regnum Kaya out. They had a great time. They were on the basketballs, and then they put Team Falcons in the dark room.
Yeah, that's where they went. They went
keep
off.
them guarded, you know, ready to come back and defend that title.
Hey man, there's a lot of fans. There's a lot of fans for them, you know. Yeah, the Falcons' nest, they had to roost and wait for them all to blow over.
It's cool. They've got their own place as well. They can all practice and make sure that they're tipped off and ready to go.
And all for the fans that you can see before you. Obviously, a large segment here where everyone's getting riled up.
He loves doing
I
that.
like, that's what it's like the Wu-Tang, but it's the Falcons, like Bird. It's interesting.
Every time that camera's on him, though,
he's going for it. He knows.
Whoa, whoa, whoa!
Yeah.
Camera 1, camera 2, I'm on it.
Camera 8, yeah, I've got a Falcon for you.
Yeah. If you see him in the distance, he's probably doing it.
What noise does a Falcon make, Blank? What's it like glides through the air?
Yeah.
All right, pretty good. You're going with that, actually. Obviously, you know, trying to get you to do a bird noise, but I'll take it. It's pretty accurate.
That's it walking.
Was that its feet?
That was it walking.
Pretty good, actually. It's kind of realistic. Yeah.
Doing my best.
Wow. I didn't realise you were such a good Foley artist.
Yeah, no, I've got like a tambourine at home, you know, a little snare drum I use as well.
Rain stick?
Yeah, rain stick's important. Yeah. It was actually me who does a lot of the rain sounds for a lot of the movies.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, little known fact, you might not know this. All of the gun sounds in PUBG Mobile, that was you.
That's me.
That was actually Blank. He did those with his mouth. Like, kind of impressive, really.
It is. It's basically all the gun sounds that you hear is me walloping my lips against quite a hard material.
Yeah.
And then I pitch it right down.
Yeah.
And then bass boost it.
You were saying you could do the DBS live, though, right? That's one you just do normally.
Yeah.
You do the a cappella for the DBS.
Give me one.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. It's quite scary. I felt like we'd hot dropped. You know?
Yeah.
Wow.
Look, man. I'm looking to really improve on the S12K at some point. Because a lot of people using the silencer on that thing. I quite like how it sounds just no bass.
Right. Okay.
So I think we'll be looking into that one.
How did you do the explosive bow? Was that just that takes some time? That one sounded quite intense.
That was difficult. I actually had to procure an actual explosive bow.
Really?
Yeah.
I see. Well, that makes far more sense.
It was pretty tight timing as well.
Yeah, I suppose
they wanted it on a Tuesday. It was a Monday. I had to string the bow myself.
God.
Yeah.
Damn. All right. Well, there you go. That was our new segment we're trying out here.
Yeah.
Facts with Blank.
Yeah. On the basically instead of arrows, I was just using fireworks.
Yeah. Wow. There you go. So, all right. Brilliant. That's what we've gone for. If you enjoyed that, let us know, of course.
Check that out.
Yeah, check that out. Some more of this. Huzzah indeed. Of course, just waiting to get underway here with our second game. If you're just tuning in and you're wondering why you've got some developer commentary going on and you're learning about how all the gun sounds are made in PUBG Mobile, well, don't worry. You haven't tuned into the wrong stream. You are in the right place and at absolutely the right time. And I think definitely, Blank, one of the ways I've described this, mate, is it is the right time for everyone but Alpha 7 in that first game. That just felt like it was so uncomfortable. The fights that they were thrown into, trapped in the compound, looking a bit lost, and they do look a bit deflated, I'm going to be honest.
I'll put it. For the rest of the team, maybe I look a little bit deflated, but I don't think I've ever seen Brevo like not looking like that in an international.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Unfortunately.
I suppose the bar, like you got to think about the bar.
Even when he won, it was a severe look.
It was a pretty we've done it.
Yeah, and then hats off to the guy. I saw a small smile and a couple of tears when they won. That was really heartbreaking.
Pretty mid.
That was pretty heartbreaking for me as well. It's the most emotion I've ever seen out of Revo. And I was like, damn, this actually does mean a lot to him.
It's got through his tough exterior.
We got 3 tears out of Revo. Which is a big deal.
Yeah, it's mad. You don't really think of tears as individually, but
no, you don't.
Free,
but forever,
economy.
As soon as that third one formed, I was like, damn, this This is big news.
He loves it. He's really happy. But yeah, obviously not happy at the minute. We'll see if they can perk themselves up though. It's going to be a bit of a rough day.
The thing was, is that technically they had the right idea of it. Of where they wanted to play and why they wanted to play there. I think just a lot of other teams also had the same idea. And then Team Secret coming in later to backstab them is just tough.
I think it was more just the... it's one of those where for a team like that, we know how they can be when they're at their absolute best. So obviously you kind of look at it with a bit of a different microscope, right? You're painting it with a different brush. So it's when you're looking at it with the fly where they set up, you have the compounder playoff, but some of the missed nades, some of the missed timings on the peaks, it just felt a little bit like it's not hitting instantly. You know, they've not woken up. It's all clicked. They're like, right, boys, we're back. Let's do it again. We could be the 2-time. We could run it back. Hyped up off it. It felt more like, okay, we've got to get into this. Like, wake up today. Let's take it bit by bit. And that's kind of what I was wondering, is how they'd look here specifically. Because I feel like it's a different caliber, right?
It is.
You've got so much emotion tied to this event.
There is a huge amount of emotion tied to this event. And funnily enough, we actually got a little bit of a surprise interview for you with Team Falcons. I'm going to check in with them, see how they're doing coming to this tournament.
I think that's really fast because the team is hardworking, same as me, and then that's the result of us getting like good plays.
Even all in second here, most likely Asara being back-to-back Koa doggedly in pursuit.
I will stay in Team Falcons for now, and then I would describe it as hardworking team.
But are they a funny team?
Good team. To be honest, I can deal with that easily. I don't have any pressure, even like between the fans or anyone. So I want to be remembered as PMWC champion and MVP.
There is a sense of circle there for them.
Ooh. The confidence came from mostly from all of us training together, grinding, and every day motivating each other. It all depends how my teammates play, because nobody can play alone. I think the biggest challenge is going to be Alpha 7 on PMWC. Thank you all for following us and for supporting us, and see you on the next tournament.
Cool, with the Alpha 7 call out right away there. By the way, we are getting ready for the second match of the day, but we just want to take a little bit longer to get a chance to talk to you guys because, I mean, we got 2 hot drops in the first Sandhawk, Max. I wonder if we're going to be getting a little bit more hot drops here going into the first Erangel.
Theoretically, 2 could happen, right? We got one in Milta that's going to be Influence Rage versus Power. Power did already fight versus 4 Thrives in Hatin last game. I don't think they want to do 2 back-to-back. They lost versus 4 Thrives, so hopefully they can avoid that one. But the very important one here is going to be Regnum Karia versus AXTMG in Rozhok. You said, Niptura, last game, maybe they want to make a statement, start hot, have a little bit of momentum. Do you want to hot drop as AXTMG Regnum Karia?
Absolutely not.
I thought you were going to say just absolutely. I was like,
no.
Are you crazy?
As much as I love Nongshim and Regnum Karia, 2 different breeds at cat there, especially on an Erangel, right? Sandhawk, it's all up for debate really anyway. You can drop somewhere, but it doesn't really matter. Erangel, these drops have been decided, have been practiced time and time and time again. It's just the map that is the bread and butter. So you better be really confident that you're going to win if you're going to hot drop Regnum Karia on an Erangel.
Especially Rozhok. When I think Rozhok, I think Regnum Karia. That is the first team name that comes to mind. So if you're AXTMG, if you want to go there, you better have a game plan in mind, because that is not going to be an easy hot drop like early on Ruins.
I mean, if they're going to go for it, we know that they can win a hot drop, that we're able to showcase it. But I want to refresh everybody's memory and just take a look at the match ranking from the first Sandhawk. So we see where everybody's currently standing. I mean, DRX coming out hot there with the win, 19 points. Yangon Galacticos, we mentioned it earlier too. Just what a massive surprise for me and Neptura, being able to just collect those 14 eliminations and then you just keep going down that list.
You do indeed, and actually I think there's a lot of teams on the top of that list, 1 game in, but that we didn't really expect to see. As you said, Sandhawk was kind of the underdog game coming into this. I mean, Yangon Galacticos, you've got Team Vision, you've got E-Arena, I think has got a lot of hype, but not necessarily a lot of sort of backup with that necessarily. There's a lot of people that who don't know who they are, and so I feel like they have actually come into their own.
Something to keep in mind too is look how top heavy that first match was.
Oh, yeah.
Like 6 plays, you go from 10 all the way down to 4, and then you just keep going down 2 and 2. So this is something that a lot of these other teams got to watch out, because if they do have pop-up performances, I mean, we're talking about how insane this lobby is. It showcases. If teams pop off, they definitely pop off in a massive way.
Oh, we got so many 0 points.
Yo.
Don't look at those.
Those are 4 teams not
don't
playing
look at the
today? No, they are playing today. Please, sir, can you spare some points? We would love some at the bottom of the ranking. But it was, as you said, some of them very top-heavy. Actually, we saw some decent points coming in for Team Secret and E-Arena. I had a very funny chat with all of the SEA talent lineup. And the Indonesian talent, I asked them, do you guys think there's any team from SEA that could win here at PMWC? And they instantly, I'm talking not even a second to think, all said no. They think no. They said E-Arena, maybe they could win, but they said Team Secret no, and the side of Alter Ego no. So that's quite surprising, because they have been favorites in the past, but even the local talent said it ain't happening, bro.
I mean, it does seem like it's gonna be just one of those things of we got to be able to get to see more from them before we start putting our faith in them.
Well, we've been talking about Sandhog. We wanted just to do a quick little recap there on what happened and just show everybody what's happening in regards to the match ranking. But I think it's time. I think it's time we send it back to Blank and Jackie for the first Erangel.
Oh, yeah. We'll run it right back, 7. No one will even know. They'll think it's the first throw. They'll think they're tuning in, ready for this, because they damn better be. The game's going to be intense, Blank. First map, first outing. It was beautiful to see. A few mistakes made for teams, and like Max alluded to, a rough start for the many. But it is the few that have been showing up here at the ESPORTS World Cup for the PUBG Mobile World Cup in force. Beautiful eliminations, some great teamwork, but what will we be seeing here?
It's exactly what we want to have happen on our stage right now. Over on Erangel, we're going to send it back over to the old classic.
That was good, I like that.
You did?
Yeah.
That was decent.
I told you, decent Foley artist.
Yeah,
really
man, I got it.
Sounds down.
But match number 2 out of 18 here right now. This is Group Red versus Yellow. So we'll have the groups shifted up a little bit tomorrow. Look at this. Down towards the south side of the map. Coming from Primorsk all the way over towards Milta Power. Weibo Gaming down towards Primorsk. A really nice spot to start off in as well, to be honest with you. I think anyone that can start off in Primorsk on this kind of playing path does have a big advantage. Especially because you can line this western coast as well. Pick up a lot of vehicles, have control over towards Quarry, a massive amount of loot to have over down towards Primorsk. So yeah, very, very good beginning there for Weibo Gaming that have suck over towards Sosnovka.
Yeah, quite a wide split for the scout, mate.
That's a groin splitting split.
I don't think like what was his name? Jean-Claude Van Damme? No.
Yeah. Was it Van Damme? Yeah, with the jeans? With the jeans?
It was Van Damme,
yeah,
wasn't it?
Yeah. That would be the guy. That's what we're watching here. So the Van Damme split.
Van Damme split, you're not wrong. Oh, okay. So obviously we were alluding to this a little bit. We were setting up the fact that Power could have had a bit of a drop on the Weibo, but it's not what we've seen. Instead, it's Influence, Rage that are here, actually getting a bit of their own back for Easy, who had the flank in the first map. Obviously being able to instantly get the damage out. Al-Haji, not ideal. A big man for the team, but not able to deliver on that first encounter. For Dan as well, you have eaten that nade.
Ooh. But hey, Dan, just down. And it's unfortunate to see, honestly. I think what typically happens with Aiden is that when Al-Haji goes down, he really struggles. When he's up, he plays kind of the centerpiece to that role where you do need him on the off angle to support Al-Haji when he goes to those pretty insane rollouts. But yeah, now just Ragnar and Easy try and make it happen. Got the doolies.
Trying to bait on a peak. wild spray of bullets, but teamwork's there for the close quarters engagement. It's not ideal. And again, literally the same story, bro. This is the worst outcome, right? Just easy left alone as the solo, if he even makes it out, but everyone's gunning for him. Want to confirm the full wipe on the squad. That'd be Power Gaming going down as effectively the first full knock in both of the maps. Elevated angle over the top. They're going to dive onto him. Will eventually clean up. Took a bit of time to find it, but Easy's gone. You can get the save back onto him there. So Power out.
Spat out his chewing gum. I'm so happy about it.
Success.
That's a successful push. They chew down over towards Power. I'll tell you that right now for Influence Rage. It was fresh, mate. Yeah, I think that honestly on Milter, there was no way that Easy was getting out from there. You backing it up to where he was. It was just complete open ground. There's a couple of buildings, and they would just isolate his position, located and targeted him fairly quickly. But it's a quick cleanup over towards Milter as well.
It was. Obviously, we were kind of setting this one up with a bit of a breakdown on the split situation there. It's 4 Thrives that would be in the middle of the group reconnecting from that side if you're making the late rotate in from Sosnovka. I am curious to see how we will actually end up playing over the course of this one, because they're setting up the idea like, oh, a bit of a chance there. We'll see if Power Gaming can start things off better. Didn't go that way. It wasn't the storyline we got. Again, results them going down first. You've got potential as well. I think the longer these games go on, Blank, the longer the day goes on, potentially even for them. I think this is where we're going to see more and more of that team being able to deliver. There's so much talent on there. You can tip of everyone's tongue saying that this could be the chance for that side of the region. They start showing up again. So I'm curious if they're showing us a bit of innovation for some of these plays.
Yeah, I sort of understand it where you send Sukat down towards Sosnovka on the eventuality it is the south circle. But even then, like, you could make an efficient rotation across, and maybe it's a case where Suk in that situation just takes some pot shots over towards 4 Thrives as they make their way across the bridge, and then they can group up. But I think that the risk doesn't outweigh the reward here, honestly. It's going to be difficult to get back together. There's potential that Suk can take some vehicles, take a boat back around towards them, but by then you have delayed your rotation by a ton. For Falcons, on the other hand, no hot drop over towards there. Though my main takeaway from this game is because it's such a southern playing path, it doesn't really tell us too much about the drop spots, because these were a lot of backups being used.
Yeah, it's fair enough. It's fair enough. It's a good point to keep in mind, obviously, in terms of how it's going to affect things here. Give us some different results over the course of the day. With
I was stressing going into the next match. So, like, do we want to drop Yasna?
That's what I'm saying, bro. That's the awkward part, because obviously once it kind of is forgivable and it feels a bit rough and you can fix it, the second time it happens, that's when it is instantly like, we're at the halfway point of the day, boys. Like,
yeah.
It's already creeped up on us, you know?
How do you fix this? You have to get the screwdriver and kit out, figure out where the loose screw is.
I suppose at least the only blessing, like Max was saying, there is a decent gap. If you look towards, obviously, what, 6th upwards, it's not that much of a difference with points, right? So, like, obviously, if you just actually start to build your way back in, and everyone else doesn't have a crazy spread, then maybe it's not the end of the world. But the likelihood of that obviously has a lot of bells and whistles attached to it.
Yeah, and as we know, Jackie, for the group stage we're starting off with, it really isn't that unforgivable to go down too early. We're going to get 8 teams going through towards straight through, and then we have 8 teams going through to the survival stage, battling it out, right? That's what we want to see here. So there is still a lot of chance for our squads to remain in this one for a long, long time. So it will be 16 teams in that survival stage. 8 of our top teams will be heading straight through towards those finals we'll be playing later. So we won't really see any teams or their keys being crushed until after that survival stage.
Yeah, you got to wait for the spectacle. Like Barney was teasing, when the iris opens, sparks will be flying. So you won't want to miss that as the action develops here. I was kind of hoping a little bit, actually, we would get a run-in between these two with how good Yangon Galacticus looked into the previous matchup with Alpha 7 on the roam over. And it's DRX in the back line, so potential for the rotates in actually being quite spicy when the fights break out.
Yangon Galacticus pretty close towards what I would say is a fairly central position. And now roaming around towards gas station, and that side of the map pretty barren, over towards the pizza slice that just sits on the northwest side of the map, which is very, very open. You don't really want to play around there. Always do find that cross from shooting range off to that eastern side is a bit more awkward, which is why you're seeing much more teams down towards that southeast around Yasnaya. And staying far enough away from the field. So there's a lot of treacherous zones here that you don't really want to go into. I'm sort of surprised we don't have any teams trying to bank over towards Rozok. I guess for Regnum Kaya, they're keeping a player back in wild so he can quickly dash back over towards Rozok if needs be.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Let's see though. Let's see what this is going to do in terms of the shift and how the zone rotate will affect things. Blank obviously favours some. More central overall, actually not too bad really, especially in terms of the group that you've got there. So DRX still being able to play on the outer edge, everyone else making their move in. Falcons obviously slight adjustment there. Pachinki obviously open entirely as well, so we're regrouping up. It's a late rotate in through the blue for Weibo, and they'll have their focus in on a little bit of a late joining.
I think, honestly though, for the circle, pretty rough. You have the entirety of the field right here on the map, which is just bare open ground, and then the pizza slice that I was talking about earlier, which is on that southwest side of Stalba, where the two roads make that kind of triangle slice. That is fairly open too. So this is pretty tough for a lot of teams to remain, and I would probably bank on at least 2 or 3 teams going down over the course of the next circle, maybe circle and a half.
A lot of potential. Not much cover to play with, limited opportunities for the compound, so fights could be coming your way.
Absolutely, you're right. Team Falcons down towards the southwest edge. Like you said, Chinky was free as they'd left it quite early, but they're going to have to get past school right now. They're over towards apartments. A little bit more difficult to see because we are cramming 15 teams into a small space because they're all avoiding that fielded area. They're trying to take up space around some of this remaining compounds. You have the river that cuts through into the lake. It's a weird circle. It's a very weird circle. I do like this position DRX has, though Alpha 7 is waiting in the wings. Mafioso underneath. This typically is a really good spot to catch teams playing on those outer shacks and outposts just over towards the western side of Yasnaya on the lake. You can control a lot of area from this top side. Now, how will DRX handle Alpha 7 though? Because the rest of the team is making their way on over with Creo, Squash and Revo just off towards the west.
It's Mafioso just playing on the lip here of the rock face. He's had the vehicles approaching, the engine giving that away. Just tucks in, has to play on the off angle realistically. If they peek into him, he seems like he's got a good read on the situation at least, but spacing from the teammates relatively far. DRX trying to get a lay of the land, assess if anyone else is coming in from the other side. Didn't actually find him. He pushed up towards the rock face as well on the peak. He leaned in for it, but neither one gave away the info fully. So obviously it's just the audio he's playing off for now, staying tucked in. If they push ahead of him, could backstab them really nicely.
They have no idea. They're probably confused on what's occurring. We're going to get our next circle. And it wasn't as treacherous as I thought it was going to be. This one is going to push a lot of teams away from the fields, at least from Yasnaya, so teams could be happy about that, but it's across the river. Jackie, over towards AX, E-Arena. Weibo's made a good wrap, actually, as well, over towards this north side. They are coming through that open ground, and Alpha 7 could chime in over towards that western side. We'll see how it happens, but Alpha 7 is so focused on taking over towards DRX, but DRX is left.
Join now with Alpha 7's POV straight back in, and this is what you were saying, the rotate over there, taking shots from the back line. Squash, we know that he can be talented, and unloading at the minute, snapshots over the top just as they tuck into the compound. A lot of chip damage onto them, yeah, massively so, and you can follow up from it as well. I mean, Order in a horrific position, they just keep finding these knocks. Late game rotate, like, it's been nice for them, but it results in this.
That's an important knock over towards Yangon. Galacticos coming through from RCB. But Weibo Gaming can get themselves back up. This is a Hail Mary of a play, Jackie, all right? In terms of where they are on the map, it's very, very central. They'll take the Wizard Tower here, which works out nicely. But they basically need to hold this position for the rest of the game. The vehicles are shot to bits. The tires are going to be all popped by the time they get out to them. So Weibo Gaming is not moving. At least not until the end game.
No.
Well, what are you doing?
Mate, he actually made it in. Oh, it couldn't have been better timing on it. Straight Benny Hills out up the stairs, wanting to get himself into the high ground.
This is a risky play.
No, it's
there's no one there to help him.
He just went for it.
It's like, we need the high ground.
Yeah.
We need to play up the high ground.
I've got to go.
I've got to go. I've got to go.
I've got to go. And he did. Go, he did.
Yeah. So that was literally a player. I guess the reason they do it is that making that play later, you're going to have 3 or 4 teams looking at you. So this was the only time to do it. Respect the fact that, you know, when it's crunch time, they're ready to play inside the crunch.
I mean, like, honestly, they've been kind of subverting expectations already with this match, even if it hasn't been just off the back of like, oh, we're seeing some crazy gun skill. They're keeping you guessing a little bit, which at times, thriving in the chaos, can be incredibly beneficial. Seems like non-ship Red Force taking a knock there, though. We've got a bit of a follow-up as well, with AX getting thrown into the fight. Falcons, of course, here having a whole load of shrapnel thrown towards them. Narvalo is down. Still in a position where he could tuck around the back of the stairs and be saved, at least. Arian trying to just throw out some bullets to keep them guessing. Does he actually want to push up? It's a nice nade over towards where Koa is. He cooked this one perfectly. Chuck it in top. Ooh.
It's pretty nice, actually, yeah. I think for AX, they're way more concerned about this next circle. Jackie, the amount of water in this is staggering, only for it to be over towards that southeast side with the fields.
Yeah, that's a ridiculous body of water. You think about the limited amount of space you've actually got to play with in the zone because of this. Okay. I mean, this has already been a bit of a cheeky one, Lang. So let's see where it goes. Nongshim Red Force here, just eating bullets, trying to use the water as some sort of additional cover to work with, throw it off, but no. I mean, Alpha 7, eyes like a hawk at the minute, dialing onto them. We do say goodbye to another one of our squads here. Going out second, of course, with Power Gaming, the only full wipe that we had way back at the start of the game. That's why there's so many teams still in play here this late into the matchup.
And this is a really interesting position from Regnum Karya, where they're underneath the bridge right now. They're playing the bridge, but the fact that no other team has really challenged that position as well is a staggering thought to me, honestly, because a lot of times you'll have teams on either side. So Regnum Karya be able to hold this, it doesn't seem like the best position in the world to be literally on the iron girders underneath there. But it does keep you alive a long, long time. It doesn't always necessarily give you the winning position of the game, but I think for a lot of teams, survival is quite important in this particular match with this kind of circle.
Okay, here's 2 names we haven't had to say too much during this matchup, but of course were very prevalent in our first outing of the day. You've got 4 Fribes and also Vision. We're both fighting down towards the outskirts. Similar kind of setup here, actually, with some of the teams that could be going head-to-head relatively soon. AX on the force down with E-Arena coming in from the back line. Henry might get caught. And you've got Falcons that will be waiting in the wings as they get lower down towards the roadside as well, with Vision onto them. Oh dear, Blank. Potential for some interesting little bouts here. It's a wide spread, though, from the arena. So they've got a lot of a lay of the land onto it. They can try and get a bit of vision onto the backside with DRX and Alpha 7.
He can't really afford to play anything too close here for E-Arena, because the space is just absolutely diabolical to play in. IQ, very, very good player. Been playing for a long, long time. Smart guy, hence the name. Looking to lead for Thrives towards a victorious push here versus Vision. They already find some good damage over their way. He's slowing it down. He's running circles around them.
Vision realistically just have not had an opportunity to move too much over the course of the past few minutes. We'll come back to that for as it's DRX. They've got the opening chicken dinner of the day. Now they're just being given an explosive breakfast with nitro being thrown their way. Nade after nade on top. Weibo as well, still being able to get stuck into the fight from the side as the bullets hit. Hyunbin on the nade back, good for one, but he's got a full army coming his way. I mean, this is E-Arena, the wall of smokes in front of him, effectively just him left. Everyone else has been taken out, so DRX, if they want to get the back-to-back wins, it would need to be an unbelievable effort just from Hyunbin with an awful lot to get done.
Yeah, he's in a bit of a struggle position. Luckily for him, E-Arena is getting walloped from the sidelines. Oh, what a problematic smoke there. Dissipates, and his eyebrows raise and are visible to E-Arena. Falcons somehow make their way in front of AX here, which is nice, and obviously take out the opposition, but what a disgusting circle this is. All lake, all field. Fireflux currently holding down towards Vision and 4th Drive, so even if one of those teams gets away with their life, they're still going to have to deal with shots coming through. But Vision actually able to sneak on past using that ridgeline on the west towards the roadside to make that happen.
Nade after nade. It's good damage. AX being able to find opportunities to fight on their terms in both matchups we've seen today. Going for the full crash as well. The Rhino maneuver with the vehicles over the top side, hitting heavy onto the Falcons. Now Valo at least with the reply back, good for one. No. The nade on top of the team. Oh, Henry goes down and so do the Falcons. Oh mate, feels like no one really wins there.
To be honest, I think that should have been an AX just wiping out Valo. Plays a risky game, drops a nade at his feet, finds 2 on the knocks. Somehow it happens, Team Secret, Little Boy will go down. That's Jaiki in the back there. This is Team Secret all the way on the northeast side, coming out from Yasnaya. Alpha 7 made a big swim down towards the center of the circle. As we said before, Weibo have just not been able to move all that much. Their vehicles are shot. It is Yangon Galacticos still making this one happen, though they lose Say Cloud.
It's nice seeing the energy as well from Team Secret actually into this one. A lot of yelling already from them on the player camps. You can see they're trying to keep themselves fired up. Opportunity to steal away a couple of elims so far. It's put them in a pretty good spot. I mean, you know, Influence Rage, top spot with 6 points, but you're at a close second, still able to build more as well. We've got 4 players alive. Now, off the back of what was a crazy dive in, Order still from a position to find more impact. Team Secret still popping up there and again and again.
Regnum Kaya, they've got a lockdown on this western side of the circle. It's such a nice place to be in where you really don't have much competition. They can get involved when they want, playing off from this bridge position. And again, a lot of teams didn't put stock in this, and I don't know why Regnum Kaya was the only team to make that choice earlier on to pick this one up. And to be honest, it's a bit of a change, honestly, from their usual play. I think that they took their time moving from Grozok a little bit further across towards apartments. A fair few times on these kind of circles, they've been caught out where they move too far and too fast. The circle ends up coming back their way, and then they struggle in the future because of it. And it should have been an easy pickup. Order attempts to make the cross, and that will be one. More in the pocket of Regnum Kaya.
Yeah, the man himself, Silas, on screens, looking to find some impact on this one and build up the elims for him from the position they've got with the cover to play off. Now, Weibo been taking their time. Feels like they've been, you know, given a bit of plot armor with some of the fights they've survived throughout this map. So maybe that's about to change. It's a good peek in. Loxy lops them up, shuts down one. There's the reposition close into the ridge as well. The rest of the squad not really in a position to attempt to trade, and the angles just don't favour you. You've got covered either on that side with the rock face, you've got vehicles to play off of. My God, with a quick peek, good headshot there.
Yeah, that was nuts from Toshbek. So low though, but you need to get that headshot coming through from the Mini 14. Sec 3Z going down, just Sukra, a slightly more unorthodox player coming through from Weibo. On that big split they had earlier on. Alpha 7 do make it across, by the way. They've got a heavy amount of damage, but managed to make it happen. Toshbek looking now, but you can see from staying in this spot for a long, long time, resources aren't looking all that great.
Yeah, running low. That's the factor that could come back to bite them the longer this one goes on. I was curious to see if things would keep developing in a good manner for Team Secret as well, as they had a nice little bit of choreography there for a while. They were finding fights where it looked like it was working well. I mean, up to 6 elims, but they've been shot in the back. They do at least still get the knocked player back up, so it's going to be okay to reset from it. That's the last remaining member of E Arena as well, just down towards the coastline there in Joker. Meanwhile, Alpha 7 low here on resources, but can they build back up from forcing out...
What are you doing, Carrillo?
Oh, mate, what's happening? Played him.
Here's an initial fight from earlier on versus Influence Rage, and Drang just holding it down in that front line. Diego goes down as a hopper from Lil Boy, and he just holds the angle, apparently.
Yeah, I guess so. Kind of setting this one up where it's like, oh, this could be big for them, force them out, take the position off them, get some gear. Nade to the back of the face. Love that, but let's see if they can save Revo, get him back in the fight. Meanwhile, they're being collapsed upon though. So this is Tora coming in from the top as well, looking to really put the pressure on here. No fear, living up to his name. Nade over the top, burst in air.